is still long. We'll cut that down. Okay, I'm at the table saw, and I just marked one side of the leg. And I marked it about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch past where the snipe occurs on this leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the table saw, make a good cut here. And I'm going to do that to the rest of the legs just on the one side. Blade's getting dull. Try to continue with these cuts, but it's doing it. It's just the blade. It's a $30 blade and $50 blade, and kind of could use some sharpening. Continuing, I'll go ahead and make the rest of the cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this one. And there it is. It's marked 22 inches. It's the height of that table. Now I'm going to go over here and set up the table saw. Okay, what I have here is my cross-cut sled and my fence. Now, this creates a dangerous situation. If this piece could break off, there's no room, and it could bind it into the blade. So what I put here is just a piece of, this is actually my small stock it's my push block to push the stock through. So I just have that here to give some gap, but I can butt up, and then as I go through the cut, I'll clear it, and it'll give me some safety room on that side. But by using this kind of method, or using a stop block of some sort, if I was doing something smaller, I would just clamp the stop block on there, where I have a stock block that kind of works like this and can actually bolt on. But this leg is too long, so by doing something like this, as long as I leave some clearance and use a block, I'll be safe. And the benefit is every leg will come out exactly the same length. So let's get started. A nice leg. I'll go ahead and do the other 4. All 4 legs have been cut out, dimensioned, and are the proper length. Now what's left to do on these legs, there's a lot of work left to do on these legs. 1, the mortises have to be placed and drilled, and I'll do that while the stock is still square. The tapers have to be put on the 2 inner sides, and the round over, as well as the inlaid banding at the bottom. So, that's a job for another day. What I do plan to do with the rest of today is make the template on my saber saw. The ebonized scroll work. So I'm going to finish cutting this out, and I'm going to transfer it to a piece of plastic, drill the holes, and go ahead and cut it out on my saw. Okay, I finished cutting it out. Right, I'm kind of go like that on the thing. There'll be 2 of them. Now I'm going to do the oh so important thing. And I'm going to take this design I came up with. That's going to go on this. It's going to be a nightstand in our bedroom, or in our guest bedroom. So I need to go and get approval from the missus, which is fine by me. She lets me indulge in this hobby. So therefore her approval means a lot to me. I'll be back. I got approval. She likes it. So that's good. So I drew it on this piece of Lexan, which I also found something very funny. Let me see if I can come over here. I like stuff like this. Right, to show you how strong Lexan is, right, they have a guy standing on a piece of Lexan. hey, look how strong it is. And then they have a no standing thing in the corner. I don't know. It's just stupid to me. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cut this down. I'm just going to cut it off here. I'm just going to use this saw. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the drill press and I'll drill out the holes like I did before in the Lexan one. I'm just going to drill out for the Lexan. Okay, holes are drilled. I'll go back and cut them out. I moved this whole assembly that I made over to where my router is, where I had the planer earlier, because genius hit me, I guess, or I was really being kind of dumb. My back was starting to hurt. I was kind of hunching over the workbench with it, so this raises it up higher. Plus, since this has no power switch, I can use the router switch I have mounted to my router station. Cut it mostly out. There's a little bit of work I can do, but I got some file work I really need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the bench to do the file work. I got little angle files, little needle files and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead now. I'm cleaning up and defining shape a little more. But at the same time, I'm not sweating it too much. Rather put that effort into the actual wood. So I'll just continue to work this. Okay, now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and rough cut out the rest of the template. Okay, there it is. A rough cut. And I'll just clean it up a little with a file, and that's done.
I'm blurry and crazy like a monster.
Well, glue up the top. Now, I don't really have parallel jaw clamps. All I have is these F-style clamps, which makes gluing up like tabletops kind of hard. I should really just invest in 4 good parallel jaw clamps, but that's $100 just on clamps. It's kind of hard to justify, even though I know it's kind of necessary. So I have to glue up this way, and what I usually do is lay down some wax paper, underside down on the table, and clamp them that way. The table's as flattest area I have that's big enough. It's the only area that's big enough. So I'll do that. Now these boards aren't ready for glue up. They're joined on one side, but they're still have the bandsaw marks from the mill. Excuse me. So I have bandsaw marks from the mill. So what I do is I will find the shortest part of this board, mark it, and then I will set the rip fence and rip a piece. I do not have a joiner. My big joiner isn't working too good, so I will make as clean of a cut as possible, and one pass with a block plane to smooth everything out. Okay, what I'm going to do, let me put my respirator on, is rip this board. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for all the other tabletops. And while I'm set up to do it, I'm going to clean up the edges on the apron too. They just pretty much need a skim coat. So that being said, let's get started. So there we go, one ripped edge. Now I'm going to mark the freshly cut edge. Okay, trim them through the table saw, haven't done the block plane yet. But here are the stretchers. I'm going to go off of the plan. Okay, I readjusted. I'll go ahead and finish these out the same way. Okay, this is one of the apron pieces first. And I am just going to adjust this. Take off a small sliver. Okay, let's glue this up. Okay, now Saturday again, the following week, and all the things I plan to do during the week, like figure out and test out the ebony, all that kind of little stuff, just, well, it didn't happen again. So I'm not really going to get to spend as much time this weekend as it is. I'm going to be able to spend all day tomorrow out here, and so hopefully that'll work out. And I just keep telling myself, well, at least my hand's not in a bandage like last year. So let's go ahead and take this out of the clamps. The table has been drying for 7 days, 8 days, 6 days, 6 days. So I think it's safe, we can take it out by now. Well, it's not glued to the table, that's good. Some things are glued to it, that's not so good. There we go. Okay, well, definitely needs a bunch of sanding.